How are you today?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. Is there anything in particular on your mind?
Well, like last session, I talked about how I was struggling in class and communicating with my friends. Um, I've tried to use the planner a bit, like you had mentioned,
Yeah.
and it's been pretty good until I forget it.
Hmm.
Um, which is a little bit of a conundrum to figure out, I suppose. But um, that suggestion did help me get a little bit back on track with my
Okay.
classes. I still have a bit of catch up to do. It's been a bit stressful to get back on track, like I said.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your stress. What are you feeling?
Um, no, because I had missed a few classes and every which way. Um, I now have a lot of work to catch up, and I mean, had I not missed those classes, it would be easy peasy and perfectly fine. It's just having to get it all done at the same time. Um, that's feeding into that stress. And I'm also worried about um, it impacting my work while I'm catching up.
Hmm.
Um, because I'm not able to give it the full attention that I should be because I am behind, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. You can't focus on your current work because you're still trying to catch up on your past work. Okay. Have you tried anything that might have helped a little bit?
Um, I,
Yes.
I tried talking to my friends, like you had mentioned, um, and it was nice and it was good. It kind of gave me a break from the constant work catch up.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess I kind of had like a nervous feeling like I should really be getting back to all that work I missed. I have one big paper that I need to do.
Hmm.
Um, it's still about like 5 pages, and I've only put down like a page worth of notes so far. Um, and I do have another big project coming up in another class, but um, I'm just nervous about it, I suppose.
Yeah. That's understandable. Everybody gets nervous about things, especially when they're overwhelmed. Did your friends happen to mention anything about how they're doing with their schoolwork?
Um, it seems like for the most part they're still going along and not having this issue I'm having, which makes sense. But um, I know that one of them was also struggling with a big assignment in a class that I'm not in.
Okay.
So it was kind of nice to have that kind of shared, um, in a weird way, stress.
Yeah. Um, did you guys talk about maybe doing like a study group or something together to like hold each other accountable for completing the work?
No, but that might be a good way to combine both the work and, like you had mentioned last time, trying to schedule time to talk with my friends. So that makes a lot of sense. I hadn't thought about it.
Yeah. And you can also, like I said, you can use it as like an accountability factor because you're both needing a little more support with getting your work done so you can support each other in that process and still get to hang out and get things done that you need to get done.
That makes a lot of sense. I wish I had thought about it while we were talking.
Yeah, you can always reach back out again
Yeah,
and suggest it.
I'll see what their thoughts are on it.
Yeah. Sometimes and you can pick a different place that's like outside your dorm rooms, like maybe get a space in the library or something, just so you're just looking at a different environment. Or when it gets nice out, you guys can do outside, find a space outside. Fresh air is always helpful.
Thank you. I think these are some really helpful ideas. Yeah, anything to help get me back on track is really helpful.
Yeah. And I know you had mentioned like you were felt guilty about hanging out with your friends. Why do you think that is, besides you feeling you need to do?
I guess I was worried about dragging them down in a way. I didn't want to overwhelm them with my problems and struggles in class, but it wasn't how it was at all when I actually ended up talking to them. Um, which I guess it was like an idea of what was going to happen that I had built up in my head,
Mhm.
and it kind of just held me there.
Okay. Just like held you back a little bit from going and hanging out with them.
Yeah.
Okay. Has that idea and thought kind of gone away since you did go hang out with them for a little bit?
Um, I mean, I haven't reached back out for another time to get together, so
Mhm.
I guess to a degree, yes, but seeing it this way, that I think that might help not have that continue.
Mhm. Yeah. And I mean, you could even include like your friends that aren't behind and stuff too, because they always have work to do.
And that's true. That makes sense.
Yeah. You can to make it like a fun time. Like I said, find a new environment that's outside your dorms, like bring snacks and drinks and
Make a whole thing out of it.
yeah. But still feel like you're accomplishing something with your schoolwork. But also getting that support from your friends.
Yeah, I really hadn't considered trying to put those two things together. I felt like I had to do both things separately.
Yeah.
I don't really know why I felt like that, but it's what I was doing, and that may be part of why I fell behind to begin with.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just hard to think of new things when you're overwhelmed and stressed because you're so focused on that thing that's stressing you out. Yeah. But I think it can help reduce your stress a little. But I also don't want you to get too weighed down by having to catch up and finish the schoolwork and stuff, as because that's also not good for you either, to weigh you down. You still need to have fun, do things other than schoolwork for your own mental health. You can't just always be focusing on school stuff.
Yeah, yeah, it's been difficult trying to just rapid fire everything.
Yeah. You know, sometimes you need a break. And if you just sit there and focus on schoolwork for so long, you're not going to take anything in. You're not going to learn anything from what you're doing because you're just going to overload your brain and it's going to make you feel even more worse.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That kind of is in line with what I've been feeling because, well, the stress is still there.
Hmm.
It's been different, and I haven't been able to place it, and I think that might be why.
Yeah. And I'm not saying like if you try all these things, your stress is totally going to go away. Stress is a part of life. We feel always are gonna feel some kind of stress. Um, but it might just not overwhelm you as much and consume your everyday thoughts. Yeah. Um, I know last time we had talked a little bit about your family and them and you guys distancing each other a little bit so you could focus on school. And I wanted to just go back and touch on that a little more and explore your feelings a little more about that.
Yeah, I still haven't reached out to them.
Hmm.
Um, I just wanted to take the steps in getting in contact with my friends again first.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know why I am delaying that. I don't know. It's,
How was the relationship before you left for school?
mm, I mean, okay, I guess. I'm not an expert on relationships, but it's not like they hated me or said I was a bad kid or anything negative like that. Mostly just to get to college, do good at college, get a good job, and build a good life. Um, so I feel like they support me. I think they kind of wanted me to um, build some independence, and I guess I've struggled in that a little bit.
Okay. Um, you didn't have a better relationship with one parent over the other or anything?
Um, I mean, I suppose my mom works a ton more, but I don't feel like I don't feel like one relationship is better or worse than the other.
Okay. Yeah. Is there some kind of expectation that you coming to college and being able to get a better job that way, you're gonna be able to come home and support the family in some way?
I think that there is some level of expectation that I'm going to be helping support the family, whether that's through monetary, through um house itself. I know they want me to build the skills to better my life. And
Okay.
I think they hope that I will be able to give back in a way. I feel like that is kind of important.
Yeah. Um, I could see that. That's a value of your family's and a value of yours. Um, and nobody says it's a bad thing, but do you feel that they could be a little more supportive with your college journey? I know you said they want you to be independent, but Would you want them to be more involved?
I'm not really sure how I could get them more involved or what that would look like.
Um,
Is that just like updating them? Or is that like talking to them about my schoolwork? Or
I mean, it could be whatever you want it to be, whatever you want it to look like. But and you can correct me if I'm wrong, the way you're kind of introducing it to me is like they dropped you off and now you're just kind of here and there's no communication.
kinda, yeah.
Yeah. So I was just wondering if you would want there to be more communication and like what you would want that communication to look like.
Um, I think I do want some communication because I am struggling and
Mm,
even though I have been reliant on them for support in the past, I think I still need some support. I just I guess I really don't know how to ask for it at this point.
okay. Was that kind of an the way you felt your whole life is it's hard to ask for help?
Um, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking back for a second.
You're fine. Take your time.
Not always, but um there have been times where I've asked for help and I just wasn't able to get help because for one reason or another they're too busy with something else and
Yeah. How did you feel in those times?
um it was frustrating, I guess. Because I know I needed help, but the people I needed help from couldn't always offer it because they're busy with their work stuff. They've got um, something else going on. Um, so I kind of like try and figure out how to do things online and
Hmm.
um, figure it out that way instead, I suppose. Um, which worked. I got through it. Um, but I'd say it could be frustrating at times.
Tell me, do you have any siblings?
I have one
Okay. Older, younger?
younger,
Okay.
not in college yet.
No. Okay. Um, did you ever feel like they got more support than you did?
Um, I don't think so. I feel like we we got pretty equal treatment.
Okay.
Um, I think definitely as I was a little bit older, they did help him a little bit more because he was still younger,
Hmm.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like it was unequal in any regard.
Okay. Um, how do you think you would feel reaching out to them and kind of expressing your needs from them, what you need from them?
I want to,
Mm-hmm.
especially since we had discussed it last time.
Yeah.
I just, I'm not sure really how to communicate that need well, still trying to express this independence that they want me to build. It feels conflicting.
Okay.
I I don't know.
Have you ever been an adult before?
What's up?
I said, have you ever been an adult before?
Well, no, I haven't.
So, what do we do when we want to learn new things?
We asked for help.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
I know everybody wants you to be independent. You want to be independent because you're here, but you've never adulted before. So you don't know how it works all the time. So, in order to understand that, you have to ask questions. And who's the perfect people to ask a question to about being an adult?
The adults I've always known.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Right. I will figure out how to reach out with the words. I will figure out how to reach out to them about this.
What is going through your head right now about that conversation and maybe a quick idea of what you would say to them?
Um, I feel like I'd probably say something like, I wanted to let you know that I am facing some difficulty. I've tried to tackle this on my own, but I'm not fully sure what I need to be doing, I guess. Something like that.
Okay. How would you think they would respond?
Um, I mean, I can't really see them saying no.
Hmm.
I just don't really, I'm not sure really what to expect since,
Um, do you think being more specific about the support that you want would be helpful? How you would want them to support you?
I mean, all I can do is ask, I suppose.
Yeah.
So maybe I will, yeah, I will.
And don't let it be something that's adding an extra layer of stress onto you.
No, I, this isn't stressing me.
Okay.
I wasn't sure how to tackle it. I know how to tackle the work I gotta catch up on, but I don't know how to, it's kind of funny. I don't know how to ask my parents a question right now.
The best advice is to just jump right in and tell them what you need.
Okay,
Because
I will do that.
they're the ones that have always been there for you. And I'm sure they still want to be there for you. Maybe there was a miscommunication in how they wanted this whole thing to go, too. You never know if you don't ask.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe they're waiting to hear from you. They don't want to intrude and your independence.
Hadn't thought about it like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you have to do that and let me know how it goes.
I think I can do that.
Okay.
And I will this time.
Yeah. I know like one thing I did when I was in college in a way is I know this sounds silly, but we would send letters and like packages and stuff. Not we don't necessarily mean like a package, but we would like send letters with my mom. So, 'cause doesn't it always feel good to get mail?
That feels like it might be more appropriate for them, honestly. So
Yeah. But
maybe I will write a letter instead of just sending a text.
yeah, I would try to have a conversation first with over the phone or something.
Oh, okay.
But then tell them like, hey, I know we don't always have a lot of time to like sit down and have a phone call, but would it be okay if we like exchange letters or something? Um, because you can like start writing a letter and then take a break and come back and write a letter kind of thing. It went for if it's like a time sake.
I like this idea. I think this might be helpful.
Yeah. And like you have three of them back home, so you could get three letters because you could also include your little brother too. I mean, he probably doesn't want to write letters, but you could try.
Yeah, I'll try.
Um, and then like you can still be part of their lives and what's going on back home. They can tell you little snippets, and you can tell them what's going on with you.
I like this idea. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah. How do you think it'll feel when you're gonna get consistent communication from them?
I think I think it'll help me remember that they are there, even if I'm doing this big independent thing of school. Um, I think it takes the pressure off of trying to figure out times to call or get everybody in a room together kind of situation.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very helpful suggestion.
Yeah. I'm glad. And I hope it works out. And it can always be you sharing little accomplishments, not just the big ones. So that's usually when people try to like start reaching out. Like I did this big thing, but through a letter you can write about all your little accomplishments.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're open to the suggestion.
No, I really appreciate the suggestion. I think that really helps narrow down how to keep the contact without making it seem like I'm still too dependent or something. I think it really fits with our family dynamic. Um, because a letter is something my mom can write while at work or whatnot. Um, it just feels more right, I suppose.
Yeah, good.
I guess I just hadn't considered it in our wondrous modern day.
And it will feel more personal rather than just like sending a text.
Yeah,
So,
I've always had a hard time with texts. It's hard to really understand what the feeling is behind it, and that's always been a little bit of a struggle for me.
okay, yeah. And you might have a little more control over expressing your feeling through letter writing.
Yeah,
There's always more you could express with handwritten. So,
Yeah, you can do a lot more that you can't do in text.
yeah, very true. How are you feeling right now?
I feel relieved because I wasn't sure how to tackle this whole topic with my family.
Mhm.
I and catching up with work and trying to make time for friends. So combining that also, it feels like I'm making more time out of nothing in a way.
Okay.
Um, I don't feel like I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this and that. It's everything feels a lot more manageable,
Okay.
I think.
Good. I'm glad. How are you feeling about yourself?
I'm still a little stressed, but I know it's mostly the coursework at this point.
Yeah.
I feel like I can get back on track. I feel like it was just the little aspects of the details that I was getting caught up on how to take each step.
Yeah. Um, Sometimes I feel when we're talking that you don't have a lot of confidence in yourself and your abilities. Do you see that? You don't have a lot of confidence in like your problem solving sometimes because you're so overwhelmed.
That makes sense. I That is not something I had thought about.
Yeah.
How how do I work on that?
Um, so I know of this technique. It's called a high five habit. There's actually like two different ways you can do it. So one is something you do like first thing in the morning, where when you first get up in the morning, when you're like brushing your teeth and getting ready for the day, you give yourself a high five in the mirror. Do you remember how getting a high five when you were little felt?
Like the best thing in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, so the theory behind it is you giving yourself a high five in the mirror in the morning brings your levels up. You feel better. You're got a little you're a little happier. Your um brain chemistry kind of changes a little. And the theory is that it also allows like new connections in your brain to create when you're feeling this kind of way. And it's supposed to help like retrain your brain how to think in like a more positive way. So you by doing that, you just start off your day better. Sometimes people add like a little affirmation when they do it, like we're gonna have a good day, I am doing great, something like yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that one. There's also one you can do at the end of the day. So each finger um means something different. So like your thumb would be your like an accomplishment you made today. And I forget two of them, but like your pinky is something you could have done better. And I know your ring finger is like a positive relationship or a conversation that you had that day. Um, the other two are slipping my mind at the moment.
Okay.
But
I will I will at least try the high five thing because I don't think that takes too much effort to try.
this thing in the morning you or this the other one you do at the end of your day, you don't have to like write anything down or anything. You kind of just
You just kind of go through it and think
yeah.
about each little thing. Okay. Well,
You can look it up. It's just called the high five habit. You'll get both. versions of it. There's like a diagram that shows you what each finger means when you're going through. Should have printed one out, but I forgot. But
That's okay. I can certainly look into it.
yeah, I think it's like a reflection, a reflection of your day, so that you can look at the little things you accomplished and think a little bit about things you would have done differently for the day.
It's looking back instead of just constantly moving forward.
Yeah, it's just reflecting on what you did for the day. And then you can kind of let go of some of the bad things that happened or something after you've processed them, and then you can move on to your next day.
Okay. I'll give both a try and
Yeah,
see how I'm starting to feel.
okay. Yeah. So I think you have a good game plan about how we're going to manage your stress and work through family things and school things. And is there anything else you wanted to talk about today?
I think I already went through everything on my mind.
Okay.
You've helped me kind of figure out how to manage my friend's situation a little bit better because I was certainly not upset, but like kind of frustrated with myself about trying to catch up, but also make the time and space.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad I could help you process that out and we could get to something that is the best of both worlds.
yeah, that's what it feels like, I think.
Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah. Well, do you want to schedule another appointment next week?
Yeah,
And then we can see how far we got all of these and process some more.
that sounds like a plan to me.
Okay. I'll see you next week.
See you next week.